Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to level with you. This is a video that sounds really obvious, but it's not obvious to Kabam. Kabam's survey right now that they're sending out is asking people all these questions about how much money they're willing to spend on the game and what other games they play. It's a corporate mentality. The corporate mentality of this game leads idiots who don't play the game to post $50 relic builder bundles, limit 3, so that somebody out there is going to be desperate enough over the course of more days than it used to be to spend money. And don't even, bring up the Kabam website in this yet either. Now, let me be completely transparent about this. I want this game to not go away anytime soon. Now, I have a professor therapy channel idea where I talk about the psychology of movies and TV shows and video games and how pop culture is the best way to not just gain a hero, but gain gratitude for your life. And that is, in its way, a natural solution to different versions of what is overly used but accurately referred to as PTSD. But this game can also cause trauma, because for every one crystal that gives you gratitude, you get 100 that anywhere from meh to levels of rage that can't be repeated on a family-friendly YouTube channel. But my point is, this is not how it used to be. If I showed this screen to the Prof. Hoff that downloaded the game about 8 years ago, I would be so overwhelmed with how much money they expected me to spend that I would have deleted the game. If I started MCOC today, I would have deleted the game. Because the way that they introduce the current economy of the game makes it look like a used car dealership that just wants to trick you into thinking you're getting a good deal. So I'm going to really be generous with my criticism of this, because part of me wants to be more angry. And some people like when I get more angry, but I don't like to get angry because I want to be as close to a Jedi as possible for the rest of my life. I've been angry enough for my first 36 years. It was a learning experience, but I'm over it. I'm just trying to be honest about downloading a game, especially as somebody who's a millennial, an older millennial, who played great games when they were consoles with my brothers, with Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 and GameCube, and then went to college and didn't play video games. I played basketball. I played tennis. I was involved in residential life. I didn't have time to play video games. And so because of that, this is the only game, literally the only game that I have played other than the Nintendo GameCube and a couple of versions of Madden with my brother on his system in 20 years. So I feel like I'm pretty good to talk about what it's like to not be someone who's a hardcore gamer and be put up with what appears to be just so many paywalls. If you were to buy everything in this row, let's just do the math. And keep in mind, I actually gave Kabam praise for their Paragon offer, and I got some pushback because it was still $70 American, which was like $100 in some of the people's countries watching this. And some of you, maybe were the person who commented that's watching this, thank you for clicking on this video, that were saying, yeah, it's total BS. So 70, 120, 130, and then 135, when we're blah. These don't, we're like about $130. That is something that is so much money that we literally didn't see an offer to spend even $100 for the first few years that I played this game. I played this game because I never got the sense starting out that this was a pay-to-win game, because it wasn't. They wanted your time to grow the community. But the problem is corporations got involved. When corporations get involved, you get these outside people that come in, and they're well-intentioned, and I'm sure they're technically good at what they do, but they haven't played the game, and they look at MCOC no different than they would any other mobile game. And by comparing it to any other game, it loses what makes it special. This is a star that is a one-of-one creation. This is not something that's supposed to be compared to a sister or brother game that has nothing to do with it just for the sake of microtransactions. And yet you've probably got these consultants that come in and say, hey, if you build a website, you'll increase your revenue. True. And yeah, they've done some really good things as far as doubling free stuff like the free crystals and certainly the Valiant crystal, though it's not already what it used to be. Between the 4-hour crystals and the daily crystals, yeah, free energy refills. The potion rate's decent. The revive rate is embarrassing. And this is what Kabam thinks, that if you spend more money, you will get more fun. But as I covered this week on the channel, let's say you spend all the money and then you go into Battlegrounds, of which I have been so relaxed this week because I haven't played it. That's another video topic. And I just have to say, I don't miss it at all. And yet, even my loss should have been a win if you just look at it from the context of profiles. Now, it's awesome for a summoner that's got 22,170 prestige to beat a summoner that, what do I have? What am I working with now? As the great Seaton would say in this clown fiesta. 24,000. Okay, so, if you're about 2,000 champion prestige, then I guess that's okay to lose to that. But still, technically I had a higher prestige. On paper, I had the advantage, and I lost. And I was really proud of the summoner. He just kicked my butt. No issues besides just being better that time, and that was awesome. But imagine if you spend $130, and what does it get you? Depression. And I don't say that lightly. I mean it. If you think that, especially if you don't have the $130 to begin with, if you think you made a bad purchase, if you swiped that credit card because it is the Marvel Casino of Champions when it comes to dopamine levels of your brain, and you end up immediately feeling like you just got scammed, your mental health is in a serious fight or flight crisis. And I say this as someone that has been working with mental health professionals for more than half my life. We're talking about conservatively 20 years now of mental health. And I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means, but I know how to get someone sad real quick. And it's to take their money, make them question the purchase, and then the purchase ends up getting them to feel like they're terrible. Because this was, in terms of mental health crises, the worst post ever for accidentally being out of touch. And yet I get the goal, but I tell my students this all the time: an idea is only as good as its execution. I believe that this is misguided in the same way that I believe this is misguided. You're telling your players, if you don't spend $100, you might be behind. And when I started, I didn't even think about spending money. I just thought about enjoying myself. When corporations take over and go for profits, the people that have been the most loyal feel like they're not playing the same game anymore and leave. And then the people who stay feel like they can't stay because they've already put too much money and time in, so they can't just walk away. But they look at it and they just know it's a cheapened version of what they used to actually enjoy. So I very much hope that Kabam changes their economy of the game strategy, and I think less is more. You might make less between whale holidays or even like Omega holidays, but you'll get it back by treating the community with a break. But now corporations never give you a break to spend money. So you could always swipe that credit card, leading to an unhealthy gambling addiction and very little, if nothing at all, to show for it if this server went down today.